Street kid royalty, kings cause of loyalty. Don't rap, don't die, reap what the scores be. Hoping that the cops and the feds keep ignoring me. If they ask questions, you can bet that's what my lord be. Small minds checkmate, the pigs trying to get them in arrest date. Pharmaceuticals to get my head straight, my mind open. Psycho when I put the coke in. That's why I sound a little strange when my words are spoken. Laws are broken by the token, crime often 9 times out of dimes. Rap chime with the square motion. And so the game's changed from shooting range to shooting kites. The feds, the paperwork is full of names. That's why I'm on a solo tip. Cause a one-sided coin don't flip. That's just my new shit. Though the concept for the crime is behind me, you can still find me in the presence of a sick army.
I gotta play the role just to be like, get yours, I'ma get mine. That's why I write the shit I write in my rap. Yeah, you know how we think. I'ma get mine. Rap, hip-hop, underground, mainstream. Get yours, I'ma get mine. That's why I write the shit I write in my rap. Yeah, you know how we think. I'ma get mine.
I paint a picture of the streets, have all fiends and thieves with rotted teeth hit the alleys when they spot the police. I'm the rally cry of addiction and the voice of despair. Like the hope the birds inside him put the noise in his ear. Like beside him full of poison with his boys out of lock up riding beside him. Riding and dying, hiding the iron. I'm the poster child for white America gone wrong. Before you figure me out, I'm long gone. They call me slain cause I speak through the dying eyes of a wise soul that cries cold through each story that I've told. Crafted in my fabric, I'm not just rapping the music. Apparently what's happened, I have captured a movement. Splashing the absolute juice through intrusive truths. I'm the old-fashioned new sense of a nuisance is noose. Been calling out for help from the heart of the youthless youth. That's what happens when you stop just doing you for you.
I gotta play the role just to be like, get yours, I'ma get mine. That's why I write the shit I write in my rap. Yeah, you know how we think. I'ma get mine. Rap, hip-hop, underground, mainstream. Get yours, I'ma get mine. That's why I write the shit I write in my rap. Yeah, you know how we think. I'ma get mine.
I'm all about the people and progression. Conflicts and politics, a lot of it's ironic. Got a long list of followers with silences attached. They shoot up your house, it's pure chaos like the cover of The Future Is Now. My goons moving the crowd, keep it under control. Then BP or bitch, feed the things and plug up the holes. At my shows, grown folks, so they sets in the air. I feel with fans, smoke gold, drink Mexican beer. Al Jahir, Al Jahar, do you believe in the God? I'm aware I stand somewhere between the seas and the stars. Police in their cars, playing games of evens and odds and creeping the yard. Now you leave them bleeding with scars. I speak these bars to escape it. Fuck the fake shit, I hate it. I wanna shape shift that digging in the crate shit. My patience and kindness turn hatred to violence. I pray for the day we reach sacred environments.
I gotta play the role just to be like, get yours, I'ma get mine. That's why I write the shit I write in my rap. Yeah, you know how we think. I'ma get mine. Rap, hip-hop, underground, mainstream. Get yours, I'ma get mine. That's why I write the shit I write in my rap. Yeah, you know how we think. I'ma get mine.
Really absent, baby. Really APS, aka the fucking Mortal War, baby. Smoke it up on the boards. I'm like a West Coast beat with an NY rap style. Homicidal villain hiding under my track pile. I kick the kind of raps that sort of make you crack a smile. Then lift you off your feet and smack you with your whack denial. The king of the castle, Mr. Wildlife, Willy. But the castle's made of sand and now I'm feeling sort of silly. Hit me with a skilly and prescripties till they're killing me. And when I'm nearing death, I'll fucking whip out my artillery. Capillary slash straight menace on a track with the double R rigorous stamped on my back. It's all about rap, fuck a rat, that's the news. I'm spending all my money on hookers, tats and shoes. What's new? Same dude in the same clothes. I tango with lame hoes when the flame blows. Still out my mind like a leak of cane toad. The same dope flow and that's how the game goes. That's how we're doing it, baby. 2007, the double R rigorous recording. What, it's Willy, I'm feeling sort of silly, and I'm puffing on a billy with a stilly, and it's in me. Clap, clap, is what you're hearing on the track, with that Aussie style rap for that Aussie style cat. Knock, knock, it's Willy with another drug delivery, I'm all about artillery, I love it when they're feeling me. Clap, clap, is what you're hearing on the track, with that Aussie style slap for that hottie style rap. It's Willy APS at 187 on the mic, and I'm blowing up the heavens with a stick of dynamite. In full flight, I got the target in my sights, it's a beat made by Biggs, and I'm ready to ignite. If you try and fight twice, I think I might murder. I'm on the back burner from a place you never heard of. Bootstrap Bill Turner with a nice little learner. I'm a fucking F1, you're a bitch little learner. I got a rocker rap that makes MCs insane. When they're hearing Willie A, it makes them want to hit a train or blow out their brains. There ain't no comparison, I'm always moving forward, but my name's not Harrison. Embarrassing toys, it's a day-to-day chore. You suck a lot of cock like you rock a gay jaw. More's what your sister says every night, then I'm knocking on your door to engage in a fight. What, it's Willy, I'm feeling sort of silly, and I'm puffing on a billy with a stilly, and it's in me. Clap, clap, is what you're hearing on the track, with that Aussie style rap for that Aussie style cat. Knock, knock, it's Willy with another drug delivery, I'm all about artillery, I love it when they're feeling me. Clap, clap, is what you're hearing on the track, with that Aussie style slap for that hottie style rap. Rigorous recordings, baby. Willie Epson, 2007. Smoke it up. My boy Biggs on the beat. We tear shit up, bitch. Smack you in the head. Now how about that? Get the fuck out my room before I smack a motherfucker in the face with a broom. You got no clue to do what I do or what I go through with the brew in a mood. I don't mean to be rude or have a crack at you. I'm spitting out food cause it's bipolar, dude. You look at me again and you wish you never knew. Then you'll always fucking hate me and we'll always have an issue. So just leave me alone, I guess I'm better not to know. Never talk to me in public, never call me on my phone. Never come to my home, never see me on your own. Never ever diss my flow and I'll leave you alone. Cause when I'm in a zone, I'm always by myself. Drinking liquor top shelf, a drunken monkey like a cow. That's how I get this head bopping out into the public, bumping it. And motherfuckers always loving it. You know you're always loving it, baby. Willie Epson, my boy ADD's just walked into the studio. What, it's Willy, I'm feeling sort of silly, and I'm puffing on a billy with a stilly, and it's in me. Clap, clap, is what you're hearing on the track, with that Aussie style rap for that Aussie style cat. Knock, knock, it's Willy with another drug delivery, I'm all about artillery, I love it when they're feeling me. Clap, clap, is what you're hearing on the track, with that Aussie style slap for that hottie style rap. What, it's Willy, I'm feeling sort of silly, and I'm puffing on a billy with a stilly, and it's in me. Clap, clap, is what you're hearing on the track, with that Aussie style rap for that Aussie style cat. Knock, knock, it's Willy with another drug delivery, I'm all about artillery, I love it when they're feeling me. Clap, clap, is what you're hearing on the track, with that Aussie style slap for that hottie style rap.
What's happening? Benton here. It is indeed my distinct pleasure and what a blessing to address you fine folks today. As we know, OTW News is live. Feel free to check that out. I'm not too preoccupied with the numbers because it seemed like we did pretty good yesterday. Them streams was lit, were they not? So it's good to see everybody. Yeah, you know, I'm glad you mentioned that, Rob. I know how to fix that. Let me fix that right now. Thanks for saying that. The audio needs a little bit of adjustment. I went to stereo for the music, and I need to switch back to mono for the broadcast. Is that better? Am I in both of your ears now, sir? That's where I like to be. My voice, your ears. Shout out to Music Holds a Secret, by the way. Always good to see that gentleman around here. Hey, you might want to hit me with some music recommendations if you could, because I can't speak for Music Holds a Secret, but I think he's a little more inclined to the not rap and the not hip hop. So, yes, indeed, Rob. We're managing the technology here in real time. Good to see everybody. Probably going to keep this one on the shorter side. I might solo it all the way through if I'm able to. Feeling much better than yesterday, I can assure you. Was not feeling too well yesterday. Felt like it came off pretty well, though. And real quick, I wanted to address Mitchell's live streams because I don't think Mitchell, I'm still figuring out how the StreamYard works with respect to me connecting to somebody else's live stream. It turns out that if I want to, click his link and go onto his broadcast, if I want to, rebroadcast that on my channel and then have the numbers add to the viewership where he can see the viewership on his screen, I actually have to, if I'm already live when he goes live, then I have to end the current live, if this even makes sense. This is already convoluted. I have to end the current live and then start a new one. So I don't think Mitchell knows that there was 40 more people watching yesterday, than what he was aware of. And in fact, I may have actually taken away from his numbers somewhat. But my intention was there. I wanted, while Mitchell was there at his city council meeting, I wanted him to see on his screen, his normal numbers plus some more, right? Did Kim get arrested again? See, I'm out of the loop. And by the way, if there's any information you guys think that I might need to know, you can always just hit me at my email. I may not respond. Part of that is I wake up at super early in the morning, and I typically read my email right away, and then for whatever reason I don't like to respond when I'm just awakened. I don't know why. Maybe I'll just send a response of, hey, I got it, thank you. But yeah, anything you guys think I need to know, feel free to hit me up at the email. I just dropped it in the live chat. But yeah, maybe some deep cuts. And part of the music is it sort of gets me in the mood. It sort of gets me pumped up for the live stream. And in fact, back to the old Nightmare Dystopia podcast days, I'd play a complete song, before the just lead into the podcast, and I would listen to it. It's not something that I added later. I would actually sit there and listen, and then go live, at the end of the track. Yeah, old Kim's going through it. But he seems like the type that he thrives on that sort of thing, from what I can tell. So hopefully I can talk to Mitchell at some point and let him know that my intention was that I wanted him to see, greater numbers than he might otherwise see on his screen, when he was there at the city council meeting. Unfortunately, I wasn't really able to hear, what he was saying necessarily. Yeah, that was dope. That second song. That was Willie Epson unreleased track, Rigorous Recordings. That's the name. Let me drop the link just in case anybody's interested. I got that from Provo Kid's channel. I think he had that in his community tab at some point. I enjoyed that. Willie Epson. What's happening, Ginger Ridge? Good to see you as always. And I've got copious notes. One of these days, I'm going to be other than truck driving, I'm going to be in some sort of living situation, whether it's a shack in somebody's backyard or just homeless. I may just be out in a tent soon, like Paul likes to talk about, where I will be able to go live at 4 a.m. because I was just chock full of ideas at about 4:15 a.m. Right, so I got a whole bunch of notes here. Now, whether or not they make any sense to me now that I'm looking back at them. The title of the video, Transients, Motel Rats, and Job Hoppers. So I read that in an advertisement because I've been looking on Craigslist for truck driving jobs because, boy, with this inflation, and things have already been expensive for a very long time. And it's a hamster wheel, as we know. This realm wants me on that hamster wheel. So, I do have a period of time in which I have enough money to survive, right? Bare minimum for a period of time, but then I'm going to need to go back to work at some point in the near future. Kim got arrested for filming in public. That's interesting. And I am aware, although I don't know the details, that I do believe Arizona had passed a state law having to do with filming the Popo, from what I understand. So maybe we'll delve into that at some point as well. And if anybody knows the particulars, feel free. And I do want to say, once I wrap this broadcast, I'm planning to link up with OTW's stream and see what we can get those concurrent viewers up to. Although that may or may not happen, just depending on what he's got going on over there at the time. So I did not want to spoil the fun by announcing that to his audience. but that may very well be happening. He's certainly covered some interesting topics. And I guess he said he's doing 8-hour shows 5 days a week, that's quite an undertaking. So I respect what OTW is taking on there. That's quite a commitment. Absolutely. So I want to show you real quick if I can figure out how to bring this up on the screen. So when I look for a job, there's a couple of ways, but I typically start out by just going on the Craigslist. So the nearest area to me that has a Craigslist would be Springfield, Missouri, although I'm also fairly close to Northwest Arkansas, Fayetteville, Springdale, Rogers, Bentonville, Bentonville being the home of Walmart, as we know, the Walmartians. Okay, stop screen, share screen, share screen. Here we go. Show you guys what this looks like. Guys and gals, rather. And make this a little bigger if we can. That's what she said. And I found an interesting ad I'll show you here in a moment. And I don't exactly remember which one was the, it was basically, if you remember this old cliche of, long-haired hippie people need not apply or whatever that is from the song. And I realized one of these ads, it actually sounded pretty attractive what the company, was offering. But then it specifically said, transients, which I'm a transient, motel rats, I guess that would be me some of the time, and job hoppers. Although I haven't been a job hopper in the past, it looks like that's most likely what I'm going to be doing, because the fact is with my health that I will most likely not be able to drive a truck, indefinitely, right? Or into perpetuity, as it were. But yeah, we'll take a look at Kim's video here in a minute, by the way, because I have not seen that. Since I'm being the content I want to see in the metaverse, it's limited my time to be able to take in these things. And I actually stayed up till about 8 p.m., actually damn near 9, if y'all can believe it. Yes, indeedy. So I found this ad right here, which seems pretty attractive from a job hopper's perspective, right? Because this company says, so here's something I look at. It says lots of miles, average 3,500 to 4,000 miles. Well, I have no interest in driving 3,500 to 4,000 miles a week. My last company, I hit the bonus for the month of January, and that was 3,000 miles a week, and that was plenty, I can assure you. But the 75 miles per hour sounds good. But then it says looking for less miles, we have routes averaging 2,500 miles per week. See, I don't believe them. Now, I would love to only work 2,500 miles a week. I can do that standing on my head. That's nothing, especially if I stretch it out over 6 to 7 days and still make 1,000 to 1,200 a week. Although I guess they mean pre-tax. But then it's something I've always found humorous about truck driving. It says, discover the difference. We are family. No, well, I mean, a family may own the trucking company, right? It may be a family-owned business, but I'm not part of the family. Furthermore, have no interest in joining the family. And they always say you are more than a truck number to us. I can tell you this, no matter what size company I've ever worked for, at some point, they're going to say, what's your truck number? This company right here, if I go to work for them, at some point, they're going to say, what's your truck number? Well, it's like, well, wait a minute. If you know me by name, can't you just look up my truck number in your system? Why are you asking me my truck number? But see, I am a number to them. It's a business. This is not, but what is it about truck drivers that they respond to this? Because this is obviously marketing language. We are family, right? Now, this sounds interesting. Our fleet consists of 20 to 21 Kenworths, Freightliners, Western Stars, and Peterbilts. I've never driven a Western Star. And out of the current crop of long-haul tractors, I'll show you what one of those looks like. To me, this is the most appealing. And now I do feel kind of bad because I've heard no human voices here in the motel this morning, but now I hear voices next door. I most likely woke those people up. I'm so fucking loud. You guys would not believe how my voice carries. Like, it's just insane. The exploiting class, exactly. I agree, Carl. It turns me off, actually. I don't want to hear that shit because it's like I have a family and none of them drive a truck. It's got nothing to do with truck driving. It's ridiculous. But there's a Western Star. I would like to. That's one of the most luxurious trucks. I would like to drive one. I've driven that engine and transmission combination, but never an actual, never one of those actually. And it's going to take too long to find the motel, the Transients, motel hoppers, and motel rats and job hoppers ad. But I guess just take my word for it, or don't. That's up to you, right? So let's check out Kim, since I certainly have copious notes here. Oh, before I forget, this Sam Hyde has launched his fish tank reality show. It's an interactive reality show. I guess it's a subscription basis, but then people can actually like pay for the equivalent of a super chat and like actually interact with the environment that the reality contestants are living in, which seems interesting. And there was a video, Sam Hyde, who I am a big fan of, although I don't necessarily like all of his work, but I'm a fan in general. There's a video of him, kind of launching the show that I found interesting. But yeah, let's go check out Kim here. I don't think I can click the link in StreamYard. They got to fix that at some point. So I have to actually go over to my broadcast on YouTube just to get the link. And Jessica Jane is no longer a mod, because you can thank Illuma Tommy for that, by the way. Tommy harassed her to the point where she emailed me and said she doesn't want to be a mod anymore. And I just thanked her for her service and demodded her. And she'd never asked to be a moderator, by the way, over here. But, she definitely, just the posting of people's links, to their channels, took a lot of pressure off of me to have to do that. But Tommy, but although Tommy, and this is something I've been wanting to address, I do feel like he makes a good point in that, if we, meaning the people of the United States particularly, are going to actually have equality between the sexes, which, as we know, isn't even possible, right? But, he's kind of right in a way. Like if he would go off on a male in the same situation, why would he hold back with a female? And I do, although I'm not necessarily that way across the board. I do resonate with that sentiment in general, I would say. And like RT yesterday, talking about Tommy treated some lady, arguably unfairly, a different lady, by the way. And I almost typed into the live chat, yeah, but it's not worse because you did it to a woman, right? If we actually are going to practice equality in this country, what's between somebody's legs doesn't make it better or worse that it happened to them. Like, they say never hit a woman. Well, I'm not hitting anybody. So if somebody hits me in the face or hits a woman in the face, it's not worse that it was a woman. If we have gender equality, it's the same, or biological sex equality. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, maybe I would like to go back into a time when we weren't practicing all of this feminism and equality, but that ship has sailed, as we've seen. So are we truly going to practice these things? Because I'm already not attacking people. But if for some reason I felt like I needed to physically defend myself, I wouldn't be concerned. I wouldn't say, well, now I'm in a self-defense situation, except it's a woman attacking me. That's not a factor, I can assure you. Why would I hesitate if she's coming at me aggressively? And now I'm, by the way, I am an actual pacifist, and I will escape on foot if possible. By the way, shout out to Austin Murphy. We had Zachary Hubbard himself appeared on the broadcast yesterday, believe it or not. That was quite unexpected. So good work to Mr. Murphy. Indeed. That was pretty cool. So let's see if I can hit this link. Where are we at? Yeah, Tommy was indeed hilarious yesterday. I agree. What do they say? The juice is worth the squeeze. Would that be the correct term? Yeah, he was. I agree. Yeah, give it to Tommy. He ain't no simp. You got that right. Hey, GRP, good to see you, brother. And then we even had Polly Unslaved was in here and ran the broadcast while I walked to Walmart and back. Part of which is I have this little Mickey Mouse car, and the downfall of these Nissan Versas is that the front end wears out very quickly. The entire front suspension wears out quickly. And this motel parking lot has these gigantic, tall speed bumps that I'd rather not negotiate any more than necessary. So I'm close to a super center. Surprise, surprise. So I hoofed it on over there, which I think that rejuvenated me to a certain point. Indeed, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, what happened to Pamela, by the way? Well, there's some truth in that, Carl. Although those three individuals may not feel that way. I think the men perpetuate that to some extent. But increasingly, like we see with the Brian O'Shea, and I want to get into O'Shea's psychology at some point on the broadcast. We have some sensitive males as well, and you're certainly not one of those, Carl, but we do have some sensitive males at times. Adam Carolla had a book called "In 50 Years We'll All Be Chicks," and that kind of has already come to pass in some ways. But yeah, I haven't seen Pamela in a while, and I take these things very personally. I just assume, part of my, arguably some of my narcissistic personality traits is, I always think the chat's talking to me, but then, when something bad happens, I just immediately accept the blame for it in my own mind, right? Oh, does he? Well, he probably does. You know him better than I do. And shout out to GRP for, I don't know that Carl would have ever found his way over here. So thank you, sir. Get in where you fit in. Whose house? Our house. Indeed. So let's see if I can finally manage to shut the fuck up long enough to get to this video. And by the way, thanks to Music Holds a Secret for posting it. Wait a minute. Pause. Did you mean to give me a, by the way, it's a 22-minute. Did you mean to give me a timestamp? Because if you did, we'll just go from the timestamp. So. Or do we need to watch it from the beginning? We'll just take the timestamp and then we'll see what happens. Right. I need another screen. We're gonna need to go dual monitors in the near future.
Okay, I ended up waiting a bit for the sheriff to show up. Well, actually, the Cottonwood police, even though the sheriff was called. But I read the bogus memo they gave me on camera, and I'm not going to bore you with that now. So even with a quick read, I noticed a couple problems with what they gave me.
Well, and I got to give my opinion on this, and I fully support whatever it is that Kim's doing here. But me personally, this is just, I'm only speaking for myself. If I was going into this situation, what I would do is I would have 2 audio recorders on my physical person, and I would just audio record everything and I would just skip the video, me personally, or I would try to somehow hide. I would still have the audio recorders and then just figure out, have a pen in my pocket that's actually like a small video camera. That's what I would do. But again, speaking only for myself.
But when I got home and researched it, I ended up finding out that this memo they're relying on doesn't even apply to this courthouse.
So I read this and it says courtroom. I don't understand why you guys would
Have
even.
you shut that off yet? We aren't going to help you until you shut off the camera.
Okay, well, I mean, are we waiting for the sheriff or what? Look, ladies, I don't have any desire to put you on film. I will aim the camera this way if you'll service me, but it's not your job.
Yeah. Well, and apologies. I'm the type that I pause way too frequently, but, yeah, Kim is a reasonable person. He's saying like, look, if you don't want to be filmed, that's fine. I'll just not point the camera at you. But however, he feels like he has, and he probably does, like he has a legal right to have this record. I'm sure he does. Right. But see, he's being reasonable, and you see that these people are unreasonable. And these are authoritarians. Look at this guy's face. This is the face of an authoritarian. The woman who was fleeing, that is an authoritarian. They tell you what to do. You don't tell them anything. That's an authoritarian. And see, I grew up in an authoritarian religion. Thank God I never believed in it or joined it officially. But see, I don't tell the Jehovah's Witness religion anything. They tell me everything. It's authoritarianism. It's a one-way street. So when they talk about cooperate, you can't cooperate with an authoritarian. You submit or comply. There is no cooperation unless you love your servitude. If you love being given orders, then of course you can cooperate. Why? Because then there's a mutual goal. If there's no mutual goal, how can there be cooperation?
To enforce
There
this.
is no videography. in
Okay.
court.
Listen, I will. If you just say I don't want to be on it, I'll turn it away.
That's not the point.
See, he's being reasonable. She did not even consider what he said. She immediately dismisses and rejects his notion out of hand. But she could be an actual human being and say, you know what? That's reasonable. That's reasonable.
Is this a courtroom? This says, look at courtroom. Where's my finger? Courtroom. Now you look at that. Point my finger right at it. Courtroom, miss. Is this a courtroom?
Well, and this thing with this piece of paper reminds me of a time when years ago, I had a Florida driver's license briefly. And so then I went to come back to Arkansas. And in order to get my Arkansas driver's license, to transfer from Florida to Arkansas, I had gone online and researched just exactly what sorts of documents that I need to present, to prove my identity or whatever, under the nightmare dystopian beast slave system. And a lady similar to this, rejected me and sent me away, but she handed me a sheet of paper and said, hey, here's what you need to comply with. And so I know me, right? I know that I'm going to get upset and agitated. And so I just left because it's like, well, I don't have to do this right now. That's the way I'm thinking. And I'll just regroup. So I go sit in my car and I start reading the piece of paper, and the very piece of paper she handed me explained that in fact, I did have the correct documentation. Now, instead of going back in there and dealing with that lady, I drove to the other revenue office on the other side of town, went right in, presented the exact same documents, got my driver's license. So, these people don't even necessarily know or care, right? So the thing is, this is an authoritarian. She's going to make the call, period. So, what is the value of having some sort of back and forth or attempting to impose will, right? And attempting to impose our will on someone who's an authoritarian, who's, unless you're on her team, she's not going to, unless you're on team authoritarian, you don't get to tell her what to do from her perspective. Now, is any of this right or just? No, of course it's not. Meanwhile, here we are in a literal hell, as far as I'm concerned, and it's a dystopia. It's a nightmare. It's a beast system. It's Babylon. What do we expect out of one of Babylon's servants? Right. We should know this going in. It's yeah, but she should not be this way. Yeah, I understand she shouldn't, but she is this way. And almost everybody in these positions is this way.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, I'll tone it down. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, because he determines what happens. And just look at this guy. I mean, just look at this bozo. I mean, this is shameful. So this is a shameful bozo based solely on his appearance.
Thank you.
But you're not allowed to record here.
Well, that's your stance. But
again, authoritarian. He will tell you what you get to do, period. That's the end of the story. Why? Because you do not live in a free country. I don't even know what that means at this point. This guy kind of looks like me. That saddens me.
I believe this paper even that you're giving me. What? Again, what?
You turn it off. You'll find your emotions you get.
Dude, I honestly.
And Kim's doing very well, because I relate to Kim, because believe me, I know what he's feeling and I know what he wants to say. He's actually controlling himself very well, I would say.
Oh my God.
See, you see that? Oh my God. Yeah. He's like, dude, what is this? And also, in an actual, egalitarian, if that's even the right word, in an equal situation, this guy can't hold a candle to Kim in any way, right? This guy's so far beneath Kim's level. But here we are and Adam Carolla had called this the minimum wage gilded cage, where we've hired all of these people, we meaning society, and now these low IQ, low wage bozos get to boss us around. Because I don't believe this is a police officer, as far as I can tell. I think this is maybe, but I think it's probably a security guard. I don't know. Hard to tell anymore.
And when I walked in and you were normal and I was accidentally not filming.
This guy won't even listen. Won't even listen to what Kim's saying. And this his only weapon? I don't know a lot about tactics, but I don't think that's a very good place to keep your only weapon. I don't think it's probably not the best place. Dude, you know how easy it would be to get this thing away from this guy? I mean, seriously.
Filming,
This is fucking clown shoes. There's a reason why the actual police don't carry their pistols in this position. Dude, I don't think it's even secured. I mean, what is this?
I was like, oh, I'm not even going to put this up. They must have learned.
That can't be. Is that a pistol? That can't. It is, isn't it?
And like, what?
Wow. It's like, hey, free pistol and ammo. Here you get. Just grab this, grab that. You're good to go.
What a boring video this is going to be.
Oh, look at this. This is shocking, by the way.
The use of camera or video.
Bro, I can make a sign that says black people can't come in here. You going to enforce that?
Well, and I hate to be this way, Kim, but you're trying to use logic and reason with an authoritarian. Because these are not reasonable people. If they were reasonable people, you would not be encountering these issues. And believe me, I understand. I'm a human being also. Like I have a desire to just settle these people's hash, but it just cannot happen.
No, that's the same thing that the Civil Rights Act was created for, was for people creating signs and denying equal access.
Oh, okay. This is a backup weapon. That's what I was going to say. Like, that's definitely not where you want the main weapon. Makes a little more sense, but I'm still not in favor of this, what he's got going on here.
The public areas. It is literally the exact reason. Okay, well, I'm just talking to you, dude. You're a man. Oh my God, look, I'm half deaf, and I've said that to you before. I can talk at any volume. That is a First Amendment right. Actually, you need to read your policy, because I read your use of force policy, and it specifically says the First
Breathe, Kim, breathe.
Amendment is allowed.
Okay, I misspoke. You always have a right to the First Amendment. What this does is emphasize to them to not be a dipshit and put your hands on somebody because they express a verbal protest to an officer, which is exactly what happened to me at the Prescott Superior Court by a security officer the week before this.
But this is bigger than you and me. Can we just agree with that? I mean, that's where I'm at. It's way bigger than you and me, bro. Is the sheriff on the way? Really? Well, this is going to be a long video, but I'll cut it down because I mean, this is a lawsuit. Ladies, this is a lawsuit against the county for denial of equal access to the courts. So,
well, they don't care. See, it doesn't come out of her pocket. What does she care? Maybe you will get some money out of them. They don't care. And look, I hope you do get a lot. I hope you get a lot of money out of these bozos. And some people say, oh, that's not right because it's the taxpayer money. Oh, dude, the taxpayers are morons. The taxpayers pay for all kind of crazy shit they shouldn't pay for. Why shouldn't Kim get some of that money? Man, from my perspective.
So I'm now advising you of that.
And when you stop videoing, I will take your
phone. Okay. All right.
Again, yeah, when you do what we tell you, then we will do our jobs. But we will not do our job until you do as we tell you. You are free, Kim, to do as the authoritarian tells you because you ain't free. Not in this society. Now, you might be free in many ways within your spirit and your psychology and your, whatever, within your energy sphere, but you ain't, as far as this beast system is concerned, you're the property of the state, brother. You don't have to join the military to be the property of the state in this country.
Can we
clearly
record public employees in public places? In Askins v. U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit, which includes Arizona, held that there is a First Amendment right to record matters of public interest in public places. And in Black...
Well, yeah, but this country does not operate based on the Constitution. I mean, that's clearly the case.
In v. Alabama, the court found that the First Amendment protects the right to gather information about what public officials do on public property, and specifically a right to record matters of public interest.
What is it that you are?
Your name.
I am not denying
your business card.
I don't have
100%. You are. We'll let the court decide that. Can I get your?
See, you don't tell her. See, she will never comply with a request, lawful or not. Now, if you bow down to her, then she may choose to accommodate you, perhaps. See, but look, I mean, just look at her.
Your business card, please.
I don't have one.
Can I get your name, please?
My name is Pam.
Oh wow, she's actually going to tell you. She's amazing. I'm shocked.
Court supervisor, and I will be happy to accept your filing when you shut off the video.
What does it matter at this point? He's there. He's filming you right now. What's the difference?
All right. Well, it's pretty clear. If that's not denial of equal access.
Well, and I would say this, if they're really going to have a policy against filming, why are they letting him film? I mean, seriously, what is this thing that we're doing here? It's like with the fake pandemic. It's like, oh, sir, you have to cover your face. Yeah, except you've let me into the physical space and I'm now loudly talking. And so hypothetically, if I'm contaminating the environment, I just contaminated it. What does it matter if I now cover my face? Because why did you let me in here to contaminate the environment if you really believe that I'm going to contaminate the environment potentially? Like, this doesn't make any sense. It cannot be both things.
Access to the courts, I don't know what is. And she's relying not on a law, not even on a judge's order. In fact, the judge's orders for recording don't even apply to this court.
Okay, this piece of paper they're relying on to violate my rights was part of a 4-page administrative order. The reason they're not providing it is the administrative order states it's only applicable for the appellate court at 1501 West Washington in Phoenix, Arizona. And while the order can apply to certain designated areas at that appellate court, these people have taken this single page and the phrase other designated areas and applied it to the whole damn state of Arizona. This is conspiracy to violate rights under the color of law.
Well, and I want to say this. See, if this lady, whoever this lady works for, is probably an elected official on some level, and for the county, I'm assuming. And most of these people have to have a bond. And what I've learned from the shout out to Rule of Law Radio, there's a ruleoflawradio.com website. Not a very good radio show, I have to say, but the information is very good. And so some people have had success by just not even fighting these battles with these people, but then attacking their bond. And by law, a lot of these people have to have a bond. And if you get them their bond canceled, their insurance, then they literally can't work. So some people have had success going that route. And I'm one of those, the best defense is a good offense type of people. It's just like, okay, I'll come in here and y'all can just do whatever you want to, and I'll probably comply with all of your requests. But if if I really feel like I need to assert myself, I'm probably just going to go the fuck away and then prepare my attack and then ruthlessly attack these bozos. See, I've absolutely no compassion for these people at that level of, like with lawyers. And this is something else I learned from Rule of Law Radio. Apparently, the way the bar works in most states is anybody can just file a grievance against these lawyers. If a lawyer in their first year of practice gets one bar grievance, their insurance is their malpractice or whatever we call it. I forget what the term is for it. Their insurance is immediately canceled. Just an attorney with experience, if they get 2 bar grievances in a calendar year, their insurance gets canceled. And for a firm, it's like if they get, I think, 3 total, the whole firm's insurance gets canceled. And then a lot of humans, we have such compassion and regard for our fellow humans that a lot of people call into these radio shows and they get the information, but then they're hesitant to do it. I won't hesitate for 1 second. Especially if they drag me into court, whoever the lawyer is on the other side is getting a bar grievance out of the fucking gate. Period. Because you're gonna mess with me? I'm gonna come after you as hard as I can within the law, what's legal and lawful. That's what I will do.
I mean, I can record in there, dude.
I'm asking you not to.
I am disinclined to acquiesce to your request. Memorize that one, Kim. Not that he knows what any of those words mean, but I am disinclined to acquiesce to your request.
I know, exactly. But the last time we were here, I talked to the sheriff, and I did make it clear. In fact, we made it clear in front of you. I could walk up to the clerk. I can anything my eyes can see, I can videotape. That's why there's doors right here. So if someone walks in and there's court in progress, it does create a barrier.
Now, this is just my opinion. You're wasting your time even trying to educate these bozos. They don't care. They don't know. They're not going to know. They're not going to care. They just, it's a nothing burger to them. But they love the part where I'm assuming you get arrested. Yeah, it says arrested filming in public. I'm assuming they love the part where you get dragged out in handcuffs. Or, well, I'm sure you went willingly because Kim is certainly not foolish enough to resist arrest, and I would never physically resist arrest. That's for sure.
I'll let you get this.
Well, I shouldn't say never, but it would take a lot for me to.
So you feeling comfortable? Who is it? All right, perfect. Same one.
God, look at this bozo. I just have to pause and just look at these people sometimes.
Corey, how you feeling, boss?
What a fucking nightmare.
Doing all right. Can we go talk? No, I need you to just inform him I'm not breaking the law.
Well, and you know, again, we're all individuals. I personally would just been like, yeah, we can go talk, sure. But I understand Kim has reasons for what he's doing, and I'm not in the situation. And Kim also apparently has history with this guy.
On and ask him to.
Okay, Corey.
Yeah.
Corey, hang on a second. We've done some research.
Yep.
Okay. They tell you got to stop recording. You have to stop recording.
Here's the
They tell you
paperwork
to
they're giving me. I just read it, and
Okay.
Well, and this is where, and Kim, I'm the same way, brother. Believe me, I'm telling you things that I'm not even necessarily able to practice. Although I do have this ability to dissociate, which is I found to be very helpful. Now, this is not a good thing overall, but you know, you could slow your roll a little bit here if you wanted to, because you know, I think sometimes we get into just a rapidity that, and it's like, you know, you kind of have, you don't have to, but you know, the more you can slow down and operate at the speed of these people's brains, because I don't think you have any concept of your brain is so much faster than these people's brains. Like, remember, these are the people who can cover their face all day and just with whatever level of oxygen that is, and their brain still works exactly the same. Dude, I can't cover my face for more than about 5 minutes. And I'm like, wow, I can tell that I'm not thinking clearly. Right. So that's something else I try to factor in is, wow, not that I'm some fucking genius, but my brain is like 5 times fast. Literally, your brain is like 5 times faster than these people's brains. It's crazy.
it says,
One is posted.
well, that's not a legal posting. They could post black people can't.
Well-
That's literally what the 14th Amendment's about.
And another thing is, let's remember the general public can handle one idea at a time in the best of circumstances. So the fact that my brain, most of the listeners' brains, Kim's brain we can entertain multiple ideas simultaneously. These people cannot. So you can talk about one thing and one thing only at a time with these people. Otherwise, I'm not even sure he knows what you're saying. And I'm not even kidding. Now, he's not going to just stand there and say, wow, I have no fucking idea what you're talking about. Right. Because we can't lose face. Right. He has to seem like he's competent. He has to seem like he's intelligent. He has to come across a certain type of way. But the fact is, he's not going to be able to track. Now, he might if he's actually if he's the sergeant or whatever. But I'm speaking very generally. Right.
Okay, I understand, but the Arizona Supreme Court does not agree at this time.
Okay, so are you telling them not to file my motions?
And then this is not the time to have. This is not court, by the way. This is not the time for legal arguments. But I can already see the body language. And again, you know, good on Kim for not caring about getting arrested. Although he probably cares on some level. I can't speak for him. Hopefully we'll get him up here at some point to talk about this. Although that time may not be now, Kim. But I need to get through what I need to get through here at the top of the broadcast. And thank you everyone for being here. Shout out to the chat. Good to see you all as always.
Sitting right there.
No, that's not what I'm telling you. What I'm telling you is you have to stop recording.
Okay, well, I need these motions filed. So if you're going to remove me from the building.
And this is also, I don't know what Kim's setup is, but I would 100% of the time have multiple audio recorders on me. So it's like, okay, and maybe I might choose to video record the whole thing. Or I might be like, okay, yeah, sure. I'll do as you ask. Sure. And then turn off my video and knowing I'm still audio and maybe I've got a pen in my pocket with a lower quality hidden camera that these bozos are never going to be smart enough to actually realize that you got a camera in your pocket recording them. And there's something about that phone that triggers people, man. Something about holding that phone, it triggers the fuck out of them. Because my body cam, when I wear a body cam, dude, it's a completely different reaction than holding that phone. Now, some people still react to the body cam, of course, and it does have a law enforcement connotation. But I wonder what would happen if you just wandered in, and maybe he's wearing a body cam. I have no idea, but what if you just wandered in with a body cam only? Or maybe this is his body cam. You know, I really don't know. I know he's pretty tall, apparently. See, I'm assuming things, and I don't really have all the information.
Okay.
Well,
I mean, I talked to Sheriff Rhodes. I actually called the sheriff. So I talked to Sheriff
Okay.
Rhodes this morning.
Yeah, good
I didn't
deal,
talk to him,
man.
I'm sorry. I talked to Lieutenant.
Good deal. Good deal, Kim. Kim says he has an audio recorder. Awesome. Yeah, I know you know what you're doing. And some of this is more for the audience than anybody else. I understand Kim knows what he's doing. I'm fully convinced of that.
Winfrey, who told me Sheriff Rhodes called the head of the security at the courthouse, Rolf,
told him they will not be arresting me unless I break a law. So I'm not breaking a law.
That's the sheriff.
Okay, so the police department's going to arrest me for.
Well, that's not what I'm hearing. That's not what I would prefer to do.
Okay.
But
Tell me what you're going to do.
You've been told that you have to stop recording. Is that correct?
Yes.
They said they would file the motions if you stop. That's what we just said.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, again, why is he allowed to come in there and record in the first place? If this is such an egregious transaction, if it's truly illegal, why are they letting him do it? See, we can see that they want Kim to choose to discontinue his recording. Because if it was really against the motherfucking law, wouldn't they just be like, hey, man, turn that thing off? And when he didn't, they'd probably just take it away from him and or escort him from the building. The fact that he's been in here this long video recording kind of says everything I need to know, right? These are jackbooted, oppressor, authoritarian, tyrant scumbags. But based on their actions, that's what these people are.
Okay.
That's not the law. The law is equal access to the courts. I'm in a public area. Are you undercover today? I didn't know you first.
Okay.
Appreciate you. Sorry, making you guys famous, but
they're not telling you to do the job.
yes, they are. No, she actually said if I don't stop recording. And when I was here last time, your sergeant actually said that he went to the county attorney. The county attorney said that a judge told him to arrest someone for a contempt of court for exactly what I'm doing, and he went to the county attorney who told him we had this conversation right here with you. So this is gonna be funny to replay. Excuse me, hang on, I'm not gonna. And the county attorney said that's you cannot enforce that. He's not breaking the law.
Okay, we've since done research. Okay. We've done research on the case law.
What's the case law?
That's something I don't know.
Well, you're going to need to find that.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, no. Okay. So if they want you to record, then you're going to have to stop recording. Okay.
I'm here to do business peacefully. I'm here to do business peacefully.
Okay.
We're going to jump ahead a little, Kim, because
No,
Come on, man.
I pause every 10 seconds and we'll just never get through this.
I don't have to leave the property.
Yes, you do. You have to do that.
Wow.
No, I don't. Is this a restricted area?
Yes.
The whole county area?
The property itself is.
Oh, now I'm trespassed from this property?
Yes.
Fuck you.
Okay.
Fuck you.
Okay.
Get your sergeant out here now.
We don't
Get
have
a sergeant.
And I have no problem with the FU here, by the way.
Get a lieutenant then.
Okay, we don't have
Get a
it.
supervisor.
We don't have a supervisor.
Fuck you. I'm not. No, you're not trespassing me from this whole
Okay.
property.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back. You want to put yourself down without breaking it?
Okay, so what changed? Why did I lose my cool when we came outside? Well, once we crossed the threshold of that door, everything changes. As much as I think they're wrong for not allowing me to film inside, once we step outside and they tell me to leave the property, they're telling me to leave a 30-acre compound that has a library, a public park, the WIC program for single mothers, the county building, etc. So yeah, I was pissed, and there's no way I wasn't going to take an arrest under those circumstances. I don't care if you help me or hate me. Just get off your ass and do something in real life. Make a phone call, send an email, film the cops. I will leave names, phone numbers, and links to the agencies involved in the description. As always, I look forward to
By the way, Kim Before the Storm, that's his channel. Let me see if I can manage to post the link real quick for those who may be unaware. And we'll check the notes and maybe get out of here early. We'll check out that OTW here shortly, depending on their topic anyway. All right. Back to me, dang it. Yeah, see, we're almost an hour in. Yeah, loving the snark on that. Exactly, Carl. I have a great deal of contempt for these people. But yeah, there's Kim's link in the chat. If anybody's so inclined, go check him out. And you know, this is where I want to say unbelievable, and I've trained myself. I don't say unbelievable anymore. Now I go believable. Believable. I mean, this is what we live in, right? You know, and this is part of the reason why I reject the hopium a lot of times, because it's like, no, that's delusional and in denial. You know, to just this idea that that's not the world we live in. No, that is the world we live in more often than not. That's just what it is. Yeah, W. Well, that's the thing is, you know, Kim is most likely at the end of this they're going to pay him probably. I would assume he's going to get a sum of money when all of this is over with. I'm assuming. Again, they don't care. What do they care? It's the local taxpayers' money, and if the taxpayers, this comes back to consent. If these are the type of people that the taxpayer wants to, employ, right? On some level, this is what the local people want. They want people like this working for the city or the county. So obviously the taxpayers won't have any problem cutting him, let's just $100,000 or whatever Kim's going to possibly wind up with at the end of the day. But then I also have Americans. Yeah, always carry a Bible. I have Americans who will say, "Oh, that's not right. It's the taxpayer money." Yeah, maybe the taxpayers should pull their heads out of their asses and get their shit together and say, "Hey, we're going to hold the local officials responsible in some way, but and make it clear to the local officials, hey, y'all can't be misbehaving, and now we're cutting checks. That's not going to happen, right?" In some way, it does reflect the attitudes of the local populace. Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. I just mean the locals could say we want different types of officers, because I saw a video down in it was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where these people had driven down from Jacksonville, and they got there really early in the morning. It was still dark, and so they just parked on like what looked like an open lot near the beach, near the water. But it's posted like, private property, no trespassing. And whoever owns the property has an agreement with the Fort Lauderdale PD. Hey, if anybody comes on this property, arrest them for you can arrest them for trespassing. And somehow these people missed the signs or whatever. But the fact is, when the cops go in there and treat those people very roughly, the fact is the locals want police that will do that to somebody who drives into Fort Lauderdale. And the people, of course, had drugs on them and warrants, and they were lowlifes. They're still human beings, but they were lowlifes, right? That's what the locals want. The locals want cops who will harass and be hard on the riffraff. So on some level, the locals want cops who will treat Kim this way. It's sad, it's a sad indictment. But this idea that just because somebody took some sort of position of so-called authority, now that individual is going to consider themselves to be beholden to some sort of standard of honesty, integrity, legal, and lawful. What is that based on? I see no evidence of that. None whatsoever. And I will say that my home state of Arkansas, according to my research, has one of the lowest rates in the country of the popo just killing people, right? And I think in part that's because the populace culturally in my state is not accepting of the popo killing people, right? It's a dangerous job and it's viewed as such. And it's like, hey, if they don't want to be endangered, probably don't take a dangerous job. But then in other states, the people may have a different attitude, right? And it's not that Arkansas is great. It obviously has a lot of problems, but that's the way I see it. Yeah, Kim says good lesson to learn. What you want and what you get are rarely the same. And what I would say is, to me, that's ego, is this idea that what I want have any bearing on anything. That's just a preference. Like, what's it? I'm a human being with a preference. So fucking what? Like, yeah, it feels important to me, but we all have our preferences, right? It's like, that to me, that's part of, if I'm operating with 0% humility, part of moving forward from 0% humility into some percentage of humility is like to recognize, well, what does it fucking matter what I want? Who the fuck am I? Right. Yeah, it's a preference. Well, we all have preferences, but that's how I view it. It's not for me to to determine to anybody else, but, let me, take a look through these notes. And I really do like, Paul, streamed. He was actually, I joined his broadcast when he went live yesterday over at Proper Instruction Motivates People. I was on there briefly, then I disconnected and went to sleep. Hell, I woke up, he was still going. And in fact, I would have rejoined the broadcast at that time. Except here in the motel, I am going to observe quiet hours and all of this. So, the writing's on the wall. At some point, I'm going to be outside in a tent, under a tarp, or I'm going to be in a shed somewhere. I've almost bought solar panels in one of those battery bank deals that you can charge off a solar panel. Hell, I could do it 2 hours a day off a solar, a minimum. I could do 2 hours a day minimum off of a solar panel. And, and this is where we get into the, hey, let's real quick hit the telethon part of the broadcast because I don't need your money. I don't need your donations. I would never want anybody to donate who didn't want to donate. But I will say if a person hears me and enjoys these broadcasts, and I have had people donate totally unsolicited, the way that you can do that if you want to, and I'm not even really asking for this, but I guess I am on some level since I'm bringing it up. Amazon gift codes is as good as cash because I do so much of my shopping on Amazon. Hey, I hate corporations, but I love Amazon, Walmart, and Starbucks. How does that work? Show me a human, I'll show you a hypocrite. That includes me. But my email, bentonja@protonmail.com. If you're so inclined, you can donate there if you want to. Again, if you don't have it, I donate when I'm able to people I choose to donate to, including Paul. And in fact, I had planned to donate to him again. And I haven't done so. Maybe I should have just sent him an Amazon gift code. But once I get back to work, I will. But look, the working thing is, that's not, in the long run, that's not going to do it for me. I don't necessarily know that what I'm doing here, I would even want to turn into my living, even if there were people willing to support the broadcast. Like I've said, if the broadcast, I got hit with again, I'm choosing to do this. I'm happy to do it. Believe me, I can afford it at this time. I'm happy to do it. Verizon, $107, and that was only because I already had some money in my account. I think monthly I'm looking at about $150. But again, choosing to do it, and that's between my hotspot, 150 gig of hotspot data on my hotspot, and then unlimited on my prepaid Verizon phone. And then for the truck driving, I'm probably about to re-up with Mint Mobile because I like to have a separate phone for truck driving because they make me download these tracking apps sometimes, and I really don't want that shit on my main phone. So, but I'm good to go. I don't need it, but it would help. And shout out to Robin. She paid for part of the hotspot itself. AJ Lloyd has donated, although I never found out if he actually wanted me to publicize that or not. It is appreciated, but again, it's like I'm asking without asking, right? But I don't have to have it, but it would help, but only if you want to. Yeah, no, or send it to Kim. But yeah, if you want to. But yeah, that's the end of the telethon. That's about as much telethon as I can stomach. Thanks for listening, and I understand. Believe me, I get it. Some people will never donate, and that's completely fine. I went years and wanted to donate and was unable to because of I chose to live in the streets with nothing, which is partially why, if I'm halfway interesting, that's part of why. But anyway, thanks for listening to the telethon portion of the broadcast. Should we get into I don't know if I want to get into the Sam Hyde stuff right now. Maybe some of Brian O'Shea's psychology I might want to get into. Because in the moment I'm not that intelligent really. And JFK Beta had an interesting video called Divine Masculinity. Let me drop a link to that if anybody wants to check it out. We might watch that here shortly. I definitely enjoy some of Mr. Beta's work, although I'm still confused by the meaning of exactly does that mean. Although if you actually study psychology, the beta thing is it's actually not a negative, believe it or not. Yeah, here we go. Divine masculinity. Copy link address. Oh, the O'Shea? Yeah. Well, I felt like, especially when he became very directly, he became pretty directly aggressive towards me. And I feel like some of that was rooted, and I could be wrong. I'm speculating, but this feels right, at a perceptive level, at an intuitive level. This seems correct that I think some of that is things that resentments that he's built up towards Paul. I really believe that. And I don't have any sort of, me and O'Shea don't have any ties or anything of that nature, and I believe O'Shea knows, I don't know the complete history, but I guess, did he meet Paul in the real world first, right? I think he did. Maybe they hung out together. I think I heard that mentioned somewhere. But yeah, I see the numbers dropped when I started asking for money. So I get it. Message received, folks. I completely understand. But I have to put that out there at some point, But the fact is, I may very well be literally outside in a tent at some point. And if I'm able to, I'll still broadcast. Like, that's the level of I don't give a fuck that old Benton operates from. I do this because I like to do it. I mean, ultimately, I'm not doing this. Now, this could be part of my service, possibly, but the fact is, I enjoy doing it. Oh, they never met. Okay, I must have misheard. Rob Cleveland's correcting me. He said they never met, but I think O'Shea. That was the impression I got because it seemed like because I'm like, why is he going off on me so hard? Like I really didn't do anything here. Beta is like being a midwit. Sounds like a negative, but society. Yeah, that's just, and again, like I've talked about before, alpha is situational. That's alpha. It's like, yeah, I might be, and I don't even like this terminology, but I might be the alpha in a given situation. Yeah, but here comes Paul. Well, now he's the alpha, right? I recognize that. Now, the reality of the situation is if I wanted to, now in the physical space, that might actually, that would be more metaversal. In the physical space, probably would be I think we'd probably be more like equals physically in the physical realm, but because I'm a little better, with my body language and stuff than I am here on the broadcast. But as far as the skill level in the metaverse, but I'm getting better all the time. However, that's just how it works. I actually kind of sidetracked myself there. My apologies, but I don't think people are really aware of that. It's this idea that, we're going to go out here and LARP and just always be the dominant force in whatever arena. Well, that's not realistic, right? That's really not realistic. It's like, no matter how big and strong and tough a guy is, like that's the old cliche. There's always somebody bigger and stronger and tougher. You just may take a while to run into them. But yeah, like when we saw Yurt go up against Paul, it's like, yeah, I could put all of my energy and resources into fighting him to a draw in an argument, right? Like, what's the good of that? The way I look at that is it's just I'm going to waste a lot of my energy, and yeah, it would probably be entertaining, and maybe he would respect me on some level that he wouldn't otherwise, potentially, right? But to me, it's not worth it because part of that is I don't need to be the top dog necessarily. And I do recognize these interpersonal human dynamics, right? That it's just not feasible for somebody to be the leader in any given situation. Although it could be for one individual, right? For some people, but that's not my role. And in fact, I'm oftentimes better in a number two role. I can thrive in those conditions in a lot of ways. I'm not really trying to put my energy into all the time, controlling and dominating and holding sway, if that makes sense. Oh, was this O'Shea got the channel attacked? Oh, we're talking about Yurt. Are we talking about Yurt? And this is what I told Yurt afterwards, because Yurt was clear, and I watched the whole thing. Yurt was clearly winning initially. But see, somebody like Paul, dude, you have to kill that guy and bury him fucking 10 feet below the ground, or he is going to come back on you. And he did. He came back to what I view as a draw and what some people probably view as a victory. And then Paul did win victory, overall. I'm just talking about in that one interaction, right? I would call that a draw, but Yurt was clearly winning. So from a certain point, Paul actually won if you start at a certain point. And my thing is, yeah, could I possibly fight him to a draw? Maybe, possibly. But to me, whatever I would get out of that is not worth it. Like, or I could just be like, okay, well, when Paul's around, he's probably going to carry the mood and carry the day. And I don't have a problem being second fiddle to that. Same thing with Drew, by the way. And this is why I told Paul this when he was here yesterday. I said, I went through this with Chalk Body Outline. What's going to happen is, and what I'm implying is that at some point I'm going to be accused of kissing up and being such a bootlicker that I will at some point, almost on purpose disagree. And that's what happened with me and Drew. At a certain point, it's like, well, I do disagree. And I'm just going to show everybody that, I'm not just here to kiss up to Drew. It's part of it. Why? Because I'm a fan, right? I was the number one Chalk Body Outline fan for quite some time, most likely. Well, maybe number two. Same thing with Paul. Now, I wouldn't say I'm the number one fan, but I'm a fan of the content creator, right? Like, this is a thing, man. And I don't see it as, oh, now Benton's diminished. because there's somebody here holding sway. Again, I don't even really consider it my channel overall. Good to see you, by the way, Drew. And Drew is a made man, and just so Drew knows, even if there's no link out, Drew, you can always ask for the link, and you'll always get it. But you don't need to come on unless you want to. I'm not soliciting that. I'm not fishing, but just so Drew knows. Well, and that's where, and I think you see why. Well, I would argue that your Fatal Attraction stalker's not the number one fan either, but I think you see why maybe I got a little annoyed in the old days when I would get equated with some of these other people. Because yeah, I am kind of fucking crazy in my own way, but I'm not crazy in those ways. Like it's a very different thing, right? I don't have I might send you a long email, but then based on how you respond, how you react to the long email, you may notice that you're not going to get any more long emails versus the people who've probably repeatedly sent you long email. It's like, I can learn and change and grow over time. I can accommodate the other person. Yeah. And that's also kind of what I'm trying to communicate to Paul about EBT and others about EBT over time. Is like, oh no, you guys might have a certain view of EBT, but like I've gotten to know him, his habits and such over time. Like, this is, he's not what you think he is. Got to replace all the jabbed. Oh man, don't get me started. But yeah, Drew's doing his part. Raising them boys. Imagine being Steven and citing disgrace, cringe Lord Vox Days, sociosexual hierarchy like this. Oh, that's hilarious. See, I'm just smart enough to kind of know what that means. That's what I love about my life. Yeah, exactly. Well, and by the way, I don't necessarily get along with the guy all the time either. Oh, no, I think you guys, and again, see, this is where I have to give my standard disclaimers. My apologies. I don't mean this audience. I mean some of the other folks who kind of pop in and pop out of here. So my apologies, Tinsel TQ. I'm actually not addressing the regular audience, but I made it sound that way. So host fail there. But I think, and by the way, did Drew, did you ever go live did you ever have your panel? Because I know sometimes you have those panels while I'm asleep and then they don't stay up. And then I never know, did the panel happen or not? I guess I should just I don't know. There's got to be some kind of way where I could just make my computer record that while I'm sleeping. Yeah, Talcott up to 800 plus. Step your game up. Yeah. You're right, Drew. Slowly but surely, though. Slowly but surely. We do have 35 in the live, sir. I don't know what Talcott gets at 9:30 in the morning, but yeah, I hear you. He's at 1.1. Wow. Well, good for him. By the way, I don't hate. I'm not a hater. Good for him, man. Good for him. But the plan is to pop over to stop this broadcast and then start a new one and piggyback off of OTW. So let me see what he's doing. Yeah, no, OTW. Am I going to have to start pronouncing W? www dot. It's like, yeah, I can speak correctly. Do I really need to focus to that level? Hey, he's got 20. Let me see if I got the link. Let me see. Yep, there it is. I'm gonna grab that link. So I got that when I'm ready. Let me just take a look at the notes here. Oh, some bullshit link. Hold up. Oh, motherfucker. All right, I'm just going to click it. That was wild yesterday. There was times I was doing like 10 things. It felt like I was doing 10 different things at once. I saw Quantum Epic made a video also. I might want to check that out. Well, let me ask the shout out to the chat, by the way. Anything you folks want to get into? Oh, and then my final word on O'Shea's psychology is he needs to toughen the. He doesn't. Okay, I don't know what he needs to do. I'm a little surprised that he seems to be a fairly weak of character. Seems to be fairly weak-minded. That's my opinion. I might be wrong. Um, I believe if he strengthened his mentals, he might do a little better. That's just my opinion. I might be wrong. Good to see you, NJ Jeep Girl. Shout out to RT. Always good to see you folks around. Tranquil Vortex. Indeed. Good to see you. Yeah, Talcott, I'd like to see him monetize that thing. Talcott sold his house to buy subs. Well, we do know that he spent what he said was thousands of dollars on his domain name, a website, and he paid for some sort of service that was going to book him as a lecturer, lest we forget. There you go. And O'Shea is obviously welcome around here anytime. Hey, Drew, if you're still here, Zach Hubbard made an appearance on the broadcast yesterday, if you can believe that. No, he paid for, he gave somebody who owned Live Without Fear or whatever his domain is. Yeah, it's $9.99 if you get there first. It ain't $9.99 if somebody else already has it. I could probably get a couple $100 for Nightmare Dystopia, right? It's like, it's worth something to somebody. Oh yeah, no, he paid for that Living Without whatever I don't even remember what it is. Live Without Fear. Yeah, he paid coin. According to him, it was like thousands of bucks. That's what he said. But yeah, Zach Hubbard appeared on the broadcast yesterday, believe it or not, Drew. It was quite a moment. Shout out to Austin Murphy for facilitating that. Hey, Provo Kid, shout out to your music recommendation. We played that Willie Ebsen. I think, is that his name? Played that at the top of the broadcast. Yeah, it's yesterday's stream, the long one from yesterday. There's a shorter one and a longer one. It's the longer one. Yeah. Oh yes, Hubbard was right here, sir. He wasn't on the panel, but Austin Murphy was on the panel and found him in the physical. And dude, Paul Enslaved was here and talked to Zach Hubbard through the panel. Dude, it was wild. I'll go find it later and email it to you. How about that? Because I know you're a busy man. You got a lot going on. And I finally got my Sam Hyde shirt, by the way. Oh, and Sam Hyde's show, his fish tank show launched yesterday. Let's watch that real quick because I do find that interesting. If you guys will humor me, then we'll probably play the JFK beta, and then we'll probably get out of here because I want to pop on to OTW's broadcast and see how high we can drive up the numbers. Since Drew's done that for me, and I certainly appreciate it. I want to see if I can pump up, if we can help pump up OTW's numbers. OTW, good Lord, my ridiculous accent. All right, this has got to be in my watch later, right? And I've said this before, at a certain point, it's just like, let's all watch an old man use a computer, Where is this? I watched this morning. It's got to be in my history. All right. Yeah, here we go. Sam Hyde. This is called Sam Hyde's First Entrance, Fish Tank .live. Hopefully this doesn't get us struck or stricken. I found this, it's short too, by the way, but I found this pretty interesting for whatever reason.
And also in the mountain. Yeah. And then also river rafting, like there's everything. Like I'm friends. Hi. How's everybody doing? Great. Okay. Reset the cameras. Just everybody sit on the couch here. This is not a scripted reality show. Okay. This is not a scripted show. I'm going to tell you guys about myself. When I came up, there was no TikTok, there was no Instagram, there was no web service that could get you flash in the pan fame. Okay. I came up, it took me 10 years working as a background extra on these fucking garbage shows to get my first job as a line producer on The Real World. Okay. It took me 10 fucking years to do what would take today an Instagrammer or a Twitch person 6 months to do. This opportunity So whatever you make of it, I don't care. Okay, I don't know you. I don't know you. So you can sit here and pick your fucking nose. Okay. I would recommend though that when I say how you doing, fish tankers, we get a modicum of enthusiasm. Okay. It doesn't need to be fake. We're not going for fake. We're not going for scripted. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you want to be famous. I don't know. If you don't, why are you here? Rhetorical question. Don't answer that. I don't know if you have a Twitch, if you have an Instagram, whatever the fuck you have. I would have killed for an opportunity like this. All right. Okay. This is going to be cut from the documentary. Reset camera. This time around, hello, fish tankers. How we doing? A little bit of enthusiasm. A simmer. Okay. Get back in your natural positions. Looking at
So to spoil it a little bit, apparently there's 250,000 people watching this. Now there's no way to verify that. That's what Sam said. Wild, huh?
Fish, how we doing? Fish tank. Guys, I'm Jonathan Goldstriker, and we're about to go on an amazing journey together. I can't wait to see where this takes us. Sorry, fucking shit. It's all right. Wow. What a day it's been. You've all traveled so far. It's really been fantastic. You're here because you're the best of the best, okay? We had literally thousands of applicants for this show. I'm not shitting you. Thousands of people applied to be on this show. Okay? I had no idea it was going to be this popular, but it is. So get ready for fame. We had to hire 2 new people to go through the applicant videos. We had to hire 2 freelance part-time workers to go through the applicant videos. There were thousands of them. I'm not going to sit there and go through thousands of videos, but hey, right now we got the cream of the crop, the best of the best. We got heart, determination, physical prowess. We got talents, we got abilities. The resumes are off the charts. I can't wait to see what y'all are capable of, okay? And we're not all going to make it to the end of this show. There will be people cut. It's a reality show, survival of the fittest. But along the way, I think we're going to make a few genuine friends, okay? We're going to have some fun. So, Jonathan, when we saw your tape, the ladies in the office had to get new chairs. Okay, hey, trust me, brother. You had them swooning. They were digging.
Link is Drew only, by the way.
Mora, when we saw you, he knew this kid's got warmth. He's got what it takes. He's got heart. Okay, and I don't care about the other stuff that was on your resume. We want you here. We want to see what you got. All right, Simmons. Hey, hi. Hey, now, somebody tell me this isn't Keanu Reeves in The Matrix. I'm not going to believe it.
It's fine. It's fine.
Sylvia, we're excited to see what you have to give. Okay, America's excited what you have to give, and I think we're gonna have fireworks here thanks to you.
Thank you.
Josie.
It's almost over, Drew.
Josie, hey, the fellas out there, they're already making gifts of you. Waving around, bopping around. I think there's a few people on the internet that have a crush on you. And I think at the end of the show, there's going to be a lot more.
Actually, that's pretty much it. What's up, Drew?
What's up, man? Can you hear me?
Yep. Sound a little scratchy there. Are you ill?
Yeah, a little bit, but everything's about to be good because this stream is brought to you by Prime Energy. Make sure you go to drinkprime.com where great flavor meets function. Zero sugar added.
That's that Logan Paul stuff, ain't it?
That's that Drew World Order stuff right here.
Oh, nice. The people's champ.
Wow, it's so good. It's so good. I'm so ready to go now. Make sure you go and buy a bunch. Enter code CHALK for 33% off.
One more time. Yeah, there we go. I gotta see this. What's this jersey, by the way? I gotta see this.
It's like a hockey jersey from
yeah, it's dope.
I
like hockey jerseys.
Switzerland. It's a team from Switzerland. I don't know. I found it at a sale.
Nice.
You know, these things here, they got electrolytes, they got antioxidants, everything you need. drinkprime.com.
After the stream, I'm gonna go get one for myself. Why can't I talk? Yeah,
pretty good. I like the pink. The pink one's good. The pink one, the red one.
Well, I was already on here begging for donos. Now Drew's got product placement going on.
Yeah, there we go, man. You get 10% of the kickback, buddy.
Awesome. Yeah, you need more logos.
So you got Zach Hubbard in the chat. You got all the big names coming to your channel. How's it feel?
Well, he didn't know he was here. I don't think he even knew where he was, but Austin Murphy tracked him down at the California State Capitol. And Paul Enslave actually talked to him, like to Hubbard through the broadcast. It was kind of crazy. I'm going to clip it out for you. I'll send it to you.
Love to see it. I would love to see it.
Dude, it was wild over here yesterday, man.
I never had Zach Hubbard on my channel, so.
Well, I didn't know it. I didn't know I was going to have him either. It was quite unplanned, but it was dope.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I would cam up, except it's not connected right now.
Yeah, I'm not feeling good.
I can tell.
It's been rough week here, but I'll make it.
Maybe I should give you some unsolicited health advice that'll fix you right up.
Do it.
No, I think that prime.
I know you love that.
Indeed. Well, it comes from a good place, though, right? But it still annoys me.
Ben's like, don't tell me what to do. Don't even give me any like little bit of health advice or anything.
I know, man.
Oh, man. What was the Mitchell thing going on last night?
Well, there's been this long, yeah. Well, you know, he's written, he's in Glendale, Arizona, and he's written on the window of his truck, Glendale, something like to the effect of Glendale police are domestic terrorists. And then he.
Oh, and then they fuck with him all the time, and he wonders why or what?
Well, it's actually far beyond that. But yesterday he went to the city council meeting and live streamed it. And in fact, I simulcasted, but I'm still figuring out the StreamYard, so it did not add to his numbers. But we had 40 people over here watching it, and then he had 20 something on his channel watching. But and here shortly, I'm going to end this broadcast and go over to OTW News. Are you familiar with Mr. OTW News?
I've seen him on the panels a couple times, but I've never really went over there and checked it out.
Well, he's decided to live stream 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday. So
that's a commitment.
Yeah, I respect it. He's a Canadian, so he annoys me some of the time, but that's solely based on the country of his birth. I don't think it's anything to do with him personally.
What's the, like, why does he want to do 8 hours a day just to do it, or what? Just to have a show, or what?
I'm going to now I got to hook the cam up real quick, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'll talk to him because I'm going to, as you've taught me how to do, I'm going to combine the streams. Drew is a lot of people don't realize this. Drew's he's a trendsetter in a lot of ways, but he doesn't like compliments. So that's as far as I'll go with that. So I thank you, sir. Thank you. That's all.
I'm not ahead of my time. I'm just old.
There you go.
So maybe for a boomer.
Oh man. Somehow you're not though. It's like I'm old and you're not, but I'm only like 3 years older than you. So you're doing something right.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
I can barely talk today.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah,
it's catching up to me now.
You probably feel all those years today.
Oh yeah, the last couple of days I felt so old. I'm like, man, I'll be back at him though. Give me a day or two.
Oh, cool. Mitchell's in the chat. Hey, real quick, Mitchell. I didn't know this, but what I had to do yesterday to pump up your numbers was I needed to end my stream and then start a new one. But we had 40 people when you were at the city council meeting. There were 40 people over here watching you. It just didn't show on your screen. So the intention was I wanted you to know how many people were watching. But yeah. Anyway, what do you want to get into, Drew?
Well, what's going on with Talcott's numbers, man?
I have no idea. I'm behind this. We need to delve into that, I guess.
We were in the chat last night, me and EBT, and his numbers just kept climbing and climbing while he was streaming. So a small part of it is that he sets the chat to like subscribers only. So lurkers can't just talk shit. They got to subscribe and be subscribed for 5 minutes to leave a comment. But it was growing. Yeah. It was growing like beyond that. I feel like, and now they're saying in the chat today, Rob Cleveland was saying he's at 1.09. That's quite the jump from last night. He was at 800.
Wow, that's crazy. What's he getting in the lives? Do you know what the numbers are?
Like 20.
That's crazy. We got 39 here right now, and OTW's got 20 right now.
That's why I'm saying, how's he getting all these subs unless some bigger channel shouted him out or something? That's possible.
Yeah, No idea. Maybe he did buy them. I don't know how it works. Real quick though, since somebody brought up NAC, I'm gonna show you people something. Hang on just a second.
Shout out to Kem before the storm. I saw the new video where he took the arrest.
Not only is this NAC, this is the good shit. This is the more expensive. This is the good shit.
It's got nothing on this. You guys will be set for life when you drink the Prime.
That's a good point.
Drinkprime.com.
Well, Prime probably has this already in it, I would assume. I mean, how could it not?
It's got everything.
Yeah.
What is that NAC? I don't even know what that is.
Apparently it helps the body create glutathione, which is some sort of powerful. I think actually it's a amino acid, but I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to go back and look. But I also take glutathione. It's crazy, man, how much I'm spending just to stay alive here at this point.
Shout out Lando Blind. It says Paul's building him up also, which is questionable. He's talking about Talcott. Well, what is the I can't remember the name of it now. There's this thing that Talcott promotes. It's basically like a UN communism type idea. And it's some other guy started coming in my streams that he looks just like Alex Stein, and he just talks and talks and talks. Guy doesn't stop talking. And he mentioned the same exact thing. It's like one of those UN initiatives, which when you look into it, it's basically like communism. I can't remember what the hell it's called right now.
Oh shit.
I don't know, but what's the odds of these two guys just coming on these panels talking about like UN communism, basically? Oh yeah, I got it. I can't remember the name of it right now because there's that guy that's been coming on my channel, and I swear it's Alex Stein. You know, right here too. This was developed to fill the void. Quench
Dude,
your
I'm telling
thirst.
you, 8 out of 10 of what y'all name is right across it's right over there on the counter. I promise you. We did one day we did 30 minutes and everything they brought up, I just reach and grabbed and showed it to the camera. Anyway, please continue.
It's not the UN itself. It's like a initiative or something like that. He's like, I'm talking about this guy called in. He's like, yeah, you know, I believe it. It's like Project something, or I can't remember right now.
Damn it, Drew, you gotta start taking notes.
I know, I'm getting old, man.
Yeah, I agree. I never bought his BS. Actually, I did at first, but yeah, this BS house and money issues. It's not possible.
It's pretty sus that you're a days away from losing your house, and then someone swoops in for the save at the. However, with the audience that he has, or through Paul, it's possible that someone could have bought it up for literally like, you know, half price, basically what it's worth. And then with the deal that, okay, I'll let you live here for 1 more year or whatever. That's kind of what he says, something like that.
It's possible. And it's hard to evict people in Washington State. In Arkansas, dude, the sheriff will just show up and tell you get the fuck out. But it's not like that everywhere.
Yeah. Kem says, can you imagine paying for a speaker to come to your company and Talcott shows up?
It'd kind of be the worst thing ever, though, in a way.
He literally says nothing. He just talks.
Well, sometimes it literally gets down to GURU, like that movie. It's like he literally gets to that point with it.
And there was that guy. What's that guy's name? It's like 6057 Smith West or something. You know who I'm talking about?
God, I'm out of the loop on so much.
He's like in the chats all the time, and sometimes he goes on the panels, but he's like sucking Talcott off, like, oh, this dude's like, he can't believe how much fire Talcott's spitting. Like, so some people love it, man.
Yeah, they want that guru.
There's something for everyone.
Yeah, this metaverse, dude, this shit's wild, man.
Yeah, I'm paying for this damn StreamYard, and I haven't streamed in like 2 weeks, man. I need a break from the internet, and then I haven't been feeling good.
You'll be back.
Yeah,
I feel your return coming very soon. But so you haven't done any streams then, right?
No.
Okay.
I've been meaning. I was gonna last week, and then the boys give me a hard time, and then now I'm not feeling good. But I've been looking into a lot of this AI. I don't know if you look into that stuff at all.
Not too much, no.
The generative AI, where it's, you know, Chat GTP and all that you hear about, Mid Journey and all that different ones. So now the it's kind of a Reddit level take, but now there's this like it's not a TED talk, but it's something kind of like that. And there's these guys that are like experts in the field, and they come out and they talk about it, and they say, oh, like 50% of AI developers say there's a 10% chance that the human beings will become extinct because of AI. I'm like, I don't know that much about computers, but I don't think that's how it works, man. The AI can only do what it's told to do, right? Or how it's programmed to do. And they act like, oh, it's doing all this stuff on its own, and we have no idea how it's doing this stuff. And
Well, these
I
dum
don't
dums.
believe that.
Yeah, these dum dums. Would they even know the difference? I mean,
Well, okay, that's exactly where I'm going with it. Is I think this is now the new Osama bin Laden. This is the new
the boogeyman.
But yeah, that's perfect word. The new boogeyman just waiting in the wings, so that when the next thing happens, now that everyone will right away, just like when 9/11 happened, I was there, and as soon as it happened, the people I was working with, what they were like, oh, it must have been that Osama bin Laden. You know, they were programmed to know that that guy was going to do something like that. So you're going to see some false flag, I think, go down with these. I mean, who knows how it'll go, but it'll be blamed on the AI. And to me, what it seems like, what they're really pushing this AI out, and I believe they want to go with what Elon Musk talked about, the authenticate all humans. So they want to have some psyop where it's an AI did it, a random nameless, faceless AI. So now for some reason you have to, have a digital passport,
Authenticate.
basically.
Yeah.
I've talked about that a long time ago, that they
I
want to
know,
have
I
you
remember.
on like a digital passport just to get online.
I
And that's
remember.
where it's going to go. So right now there's a lot of these companies that are behind the scenes. They want to be it's basically an arms race between these authentication companies to be the one that's a decentralized authenticator for whatever the technology will be to come out that proves that you're actually a real human. And there's a lot of different ways they're doing it. Another new one is, well, I've talked about in the past, they have gait recognition technology, just your walk, how you walk. So it's, surveillance can see you and identify you. They have emotional or behavioral identification technology. So when you go into Walmart and everything like that, it's storing your emotional state, right? Like it can detect if you're agitated or anything.
Yes.
So you got to think about that. It's storing that to a number, to your digital profile. It's not just this random person came in and was in this emotional state. It's for sure tracked somewhere.
Well, then I want to point out, this is not something that is going to happen. They're doing it now, and they've been doing it in Walmart.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Oh, 100%. And that's with the rollout of the self-checkout and everything like that. It's all ties together. And then you see the AIs and all that. They're giving you the AI now, the chat. My computer keeps trying to upgrade me to Windows 10, and I keep denying it, but when you upgrade to Windows 10, it's got the full version of the chat GTP built right into the little search. They want it in your house. They're pushing everything on you. And I don't know if you saw yesterday, there was a parking ramp collapse in New York. I was watching that for a little bit, and like some cars, whatever, just kind of pancaked down this little parking ramp. And a lot of they were touting, the police and everything were touting the drone technology, but they also had that little robot dog and everything. That little robot dog went in there and was using the camera to like show them if there was any victims or whatever trapped in there. So you're seeing everything being pushed out onto the table right now to get you familiar with the AI and all that stuff. I think, like I said, to me, it's always just going to lead to a psyop, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what we've seen, and I don't see any reason why that would not continue. And in fact, I know of a large warehouse in Fort Worth, where you can just walk. I walked down the sidewalk, and one of those robot dogs was inside a fence. And I don't know if it's autonomous or if somebody was operating it, but the robot dog came out there and kind of followed me, walked with me. And then they had a drone flying. So there was a drone. And so I think they're just, whoever works there is probably just playing around or learning how to use it, I'm assuming. But one day I drove by and that robot dog was just running down the road, dude. It was crazy. So,
So
this stuff is happening, man. It's happening.
exactly, and when you
Yeah.
look at how dumb the people are that fell for COVID, the whole world fell for COVID. Right?
Yep.
All they have to do
Yep.
is say this XYZ it happened, and it's all because of AI, and they don't even know how their keyboard works or anything anymore. They'll be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, it's an AI, okay." And you will definitely 100% you will see whether a psyop happens or not, though there will be legislation pushed in the very near future about like what type like AI regulation. Basically, that's where they're going with it. They want to give it to you, and supposedly, and they're giving you the most powerful thing there is, which they probably have better stuff behind the scenes. They want you to cause havoc with it and everything like that, so that they can kind of pull it back a little bit.
RT doesn't believe the biometric stuff, which is, I mean, that's a fair perspective to have. Yeah,
I totally believe it. Why would they develop a technology that tracks your emotional state? It's just a little bit of code to go in somewhere, right? But it's like MIDI information on a computer. I don't know if you guys are familiar with computer music. Like a whole song is a decent size audio wave file, but if you have just the MIDI information of it, it's super, super tiny, a couple kilobytes. So you could just store this info. Okay, agitated. This guy was agitated today, or he was extremely happy. It would just be 1 or 2K to add on to a file somewhere.
Well, real quick, we covered an article over here about how the Chinese military is doing this to be able to observe like their officers and their soldiers, to be able to tell their emotional state. And then so if they start freaking the fuck out, they can a computer can say, hey, dispatch a counselor. Let's go get a counselor out there to get this person back, calm down and get their psychology fixed. And that's just the beginning, right? And I'm sure the U.S. has their own version of that also.
I think Amazon does something like that too, don't they? Amazon for their workers, the wage slaves.
Probably. Wouldn't surprise me.
I think they have like an emotional register. So well, they have that cry box, where you can go in and cry if you're working. Like I think they have people on staff that can come and like help you if you're feeling stressed out or whatever. In any state.
So, how much time do you have? Do you want to hang out for a while? I'm not trying to run you off, but
it's up to you. Whatever. If you were going to go to that other one, go ahead. But otherwise,
well, no, I don't. That's what's great is he's going 8 hours. I can do that anytime. Later, you know what I mean? That's part of the fun of the long.
Oh man, this Prime is so good. It's so good. It's amazing.
I'm starting to think Drew's fishing for an endorsement deal here. I went ahead and dropped the link. Anybody's welcome to come up, even Provo Kid if he wants to, because I'm going to need to take a short break. But
Provo going to come in?
He might. We'll see. He's welcome.
Listen, guys, it's all about autism and how you fit on the spectrum. There's no AI that can replicate autism. Okay, like I would need the camera. I can't get it. I would need to put the camera on the ceiling to do Provo. He says he's got a lifetime ban.
Yeah.
Why does he got a lifetime ban?
Well, he really doesn't, but there's kind of a whole history. It's funny. We've had so many live streams and so much stuff has happened. Like there's so much lore, that's happened over time. It's hard to keep up with all of it. And then it's like, how much of it are we going to rehash, But yeah. Shout out to Provo Kid though.
It said he retired from panels.
Maybe.
I saw him on one last night. I think he was on Talcott, I think last night or something. Yeah. There's so many. I don't even remember where I see these people.
Dude, just yesterday I didn't even see half of the stuff, but it's just crazy.
Okay, there needs to be a channel. Here's a great channel if anyone wants to do it, where you kind of you watch it all and just take the clips and then you portray it as news like they have in the video game world. Like last night on Paul and Slave, Lou Bass read this poem, and then you just air the clip, and then that's your one video. And then you come back. You could make 12 videos a day real quick, and then all these people would save them time to go there and watch all these panels, and then you'd have a big channel.
I'm surprised nobody's doing that. And in fact, that would probably be bigger than all of our channels, right?
I think it would be because it would have the crowds of all the channels, and then it would save people time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. 100%.
What's up, Rob Cleveland?
Yo, what's going on?
Yeah, we had. What's up, man? You can leave your cam on if you want to. Hey, Drew, we had Joe Cool was here. Have you ever talked to him? He was here yesterday.
Yeah, he's got a funny laugh.
Yeah, we got into I think we did like a 45 minutes all about race. Apparently some of his people live in my hometown. He said he'd gone to my hometown to bury his father, which, my condolences, obviously. But yeah, there was a big racial discussion here for about 45 minutes yesterday. Got kind of intense. We had Lou Bass. Lou Bass was here.
Oh God, how did that go?
Oh, you missed all of that. I couldn't even begin to recap it, but about as well as you might imagine.
What was
I'm guessing Goku got triggered at some point.
Who did? Joe?
I'm guessing
he left, but Tommy was here for some of it too.
Oh,
so, yeah, it was pretty fucking wild, man. That's what Drew's talking about. Somebody could just make a clip and sum that up. I would love it because I don't have time to do all this,
And that's on the city council stream, right?
It's my long one from yesterday. I got 2 from yesterday. It's the long one. Yeah, whatever it's called. I don't know what it's even called.
Yeah, somebody could. There's a channel for you. You could easily have
Well, you got sorry.
You could have 6 clips a day, easy,
and monetized. I think.
Yeah,
just
they'd cranking them out.
Everybody would subscribe. Yeah,
quick.
Yep. Yeah, I'm surprised nobody's done that yet. Because these comedians and all of this, all of these streamers, kind of more in the comedy world, they've all got versions of that.
We gonna get into race today? What are we gonna get into?
Nah.
You've had enough race talk.
I didn't even want the race talk we had, but I just pointed out. I said there was 9 people on the panel. I was like, look, I'm pretty sure only one of us grew up in a town that's 75% black, and it's me. So, not that really it does grant me a unique perspective, I would say, in some ways. And then that's how I found out Joe Cool had been to my hometown, which I found interesting. And then Paul was here for a little while. That was cool. Actually, Paul ran the broadcast. I had to run down to Walmart and get some batteries for the old mic here. Oh, that's not true, Sideways Stewie. There's absolutely people who watch all of these live streams. See, Stewie says nobody on his own has 24 hours of watching time in a day. Some of these people watch all of this stuff somehow. I don't know how, but they do. Yeah, Rob, exactly. Rob does. But then I guess the person who watches all of it probably doesn't have time to make the clips.
Well, there's the one that I talk about in the gaming world. It's called Full Squad Gaming. It's like a team of people. So they kind of take turns coming in. They break news, almost oh, this happened today on this streamer's stream.
Yeah, I didn't know Paul could time people out. So sorry about that. I am the towel. That was not mine. I didn't even know he could do that, honestly. That Prime Energy drink. We're sponsored by Prime Energy Drink now. So.
No, this is Absolute Berry Vodka Rita.
Oh, nice.
Cheers.
Well, we have an alcohol exception, so yeah. But if it's not alcohol, yeah, it's Prime only. We're going for Drew's going for an endorsement deal.
RT says what Pat Truther had the rigged NFL from every week. And then he lost interest, the Pat Truther. But I can see that too, though. It's the same thing every week, right? Oh, this guy fakes this tackle.
Well, I'll tell you what sorry to interrupt, but the next level of this live streaming, I think, is somebody like Paul, but having a co-host that's right there with him. Because I haven't seen that yet.
I mean, in the same room?
Well, or the same physical space, anyway. I think you and Layla have done some version of that, but overall, I mean, where somebody's got a co-host, a physical co-host for every broadcast. Somebody's going to do that at some point.
It seemed like Moose was being Talcott's
Jennifer was usually there.
Well, I guess Archaics is doing it, by the way. Archaics.
Oh, yeah, Archaics, that's true. But he doesn't do this style.
Yeah, that's true. What were you saying, Rob?
Oh, yes. Well, I'm not sure now, but he usually had Jennifer there. Sometimes she would.
Well, but I don't think she's really co-hosting. But yeah, I'm talking about an actual somebody like me, or not me, but somebody like me as an actual co-host. Yeah, because some of my shows, I'm like, damn, I should have a co-host here. If I had some kind of way to get somebody to actually, sit in the chair across the room, and
I told you Ben will do the morning show.
Dude, I'm down, man. I'm down.
Let's
But
do it.
at some point, I'm gonna have to. Are you? But you're not talking about in the physical space. You're talking about me here and you
Not
there,
yet,
right?
but at least there'd be two people. So if one of us you drinking too much coffee, you got to go take shit. At least the other one can hold it down.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna invite myself to Jacksonville, but I did buy a car, so I would show up and at least do
Oh,
some
you're
in
in
person.
Where are you now?
I'm in
You're still in
Missouri.
Arkansas? Oh, you're in Missouri now?
I'm damn near in Arkansas. I'm like 20 miles from Arkansas. Yeah.
I
I'm
want
just
to.
saying, I would consider it. That's all I'm saying.
I got kids here, man.
I know,
I,
dude.
you
I've
can't.
already,
You
I've
can't
already
be
thought about all
within.
that.
You can't be within 500 yards of these kids.
Well,
I'm
that's what I'm
playing.
saying is you'd have to find a space away from your home to. You see what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But then you get into
Yeah.
money and logistics. Yeah, no, I'm not trying to come to your house, Drew. That's
No,
a
I
two-way
could.
street. I don't want to come to your house either, any more than you want me to come there.
Just go to the beach, man. Just go sit out on the beach.
Yeah.
Get some people passing by. Say, hey, come here. I got a question for you.
Well, or maybe do it like in a vehicle, but then because of the wind, the only thing I'm thinking about is from an
that's
audio
true.
production standpoint. That's part of this thing right here. Because when I have the AC going, it
Get
just
that
keeps the
little mouse
can't
on
hear
there.
it as bad.
What do they call those things? They call them like a cat or something like that.
It's a
It's like a cat.
dead cat.
Dead cat. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what it's
dead
called.
cat. Yeah. Yeah, but it's doable. But yeah, I'm not trying to come to your house, but I'm just saying I would consider doing something like that.
I think it'd be good, but we got to get it going every day. It's got to be like Monday through Friday thing, or like a specific time and everything.
Well, I'm down, but my thing is, you've got your busy schedule, and then at some point I'm going to have to go back to trying to earn a living, right? But beyond that, yeah, for sure. So maybe I'll hit the truck driving real hard for a few months, and then we'll just figure something out possibly. But I don't really care where I'm at. My situation is the same really wherever I am. So it doesn't matter, on that level. And I'm freed up to move around. So, and I'm not dependent on, I don't need somebody to give me a place to live. And like I say, I don't have to come to your house. I don't need to come to your house.
We just need I guess you'd probably have to play a lot of kind of the current event news, because you'd need like on the radio's real broadcast, they break to play the songs. You need something to kind of break you and have something that's carrying it throughout the day.
Yeah.
I think you could easily just go to those trending topics on Twitter and on YouTube.
Dude, I'm down for that. I think keep it kind of short, I think, for something like that. And do the more long form stuff like for our this is kind of our hobby on some level, right? But I'm talking about an actual show that, do it in a way where it might actually be able to make money.
Yeah, totally. I need money.
And me too. And then we do have a whole community of people here who probably have a lot of great ideas and would want to contribute in whatever way they can contribute as well. So I think there could be something to it, man. Like even if it's not live streamed necessarily, like you're talking about a daily broadcast where the video hits about the same time every day, and all of that. So, dude, ever since you mentioned that, I've had it in mind. So, yeah, it's definitely I think it's doable for sure. And me and Drew do seem to have a certain chemistry, So,
yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll have to.
Yeah. Well, dude. You're so busy. It's like you're here, so I'm talking to you now.
No, I know I'm not as busy as you think. I mean, I am, but
yeah,
I can make it work.
Cool. Okay, well, some of that is I'm not gonna feel like I'm bothering you, so you might have to actually holler at me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Let me think about it for a little bit. I'll have to think about like where we could go.
Yeah, man. You're the RZA of the Truth or Wu-Tang, sir. So
it's got to look cool, man. Like I thought, shout out to Aphrodite. I thought Aphrodite made a video about QLC the other day. I thought that was 100 times better than any QLC video. But basically, she was outside. She just stepped outside the van, and she was in this it wasn't poppy. I don't know what it was. Some kind of like flower field. And I was like, man, that looks cool. Like she's just in this field. It looks super cool. And then like she turned around and all these like bicyclists came by, like cyclists. And she was like turning around, showing the camera. It was like 50 cyclists or something going by and all together or something. I'm like, you need a spot like that where there's like things happening in the background.
Well, yeah, and that, with the show, with the two normal hosts, You could even have, if you timed it out right, you could have it. Aphrodite could call in and be like woman on the street, during the
Yeah,
broadcast.
that's true.
Like there's a lot, dude. This technology, there's a lot of possibilities, and
Yeah, like I said, you could have someone call in every morning and pull tarot or something, or talk about the energies or whatever of the day or whatever.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be taking notes because, and I'm sure you'll have some ideas. So yeah, man, that's potentially exciting there for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna think about that today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, man. I'm gonna get out of here. My throat's hurting.
Yeah, I'm probably about to shut it down, and hope you get to feeling better. Thank you to Rob Cleveland. Shout out to Prime Energy Drink.
Drinkprime.com.
Indeed, checking out. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye. Actually, I faked you out. I want to watch. Let's go out on this JFK beta, and then that'll be the end of the broadcast. I'm gonna do my best not to interject my commentary.
It's been pushed on our society.
And I'm not even sure who these people are on the panel. So I do not endorse any of these folks, just for the record. I can neither confirm or deny these people.
It's been pushed on our society that men drink beer. So in 1999, a potent cytoestrogen called 8-prenweilenegger was discovered in hops. In fact, the most potent cytoestrogen found to date, 50 times more potent than the genistein in soy. An obvious explanation for the mental disturbance in female hops workers in the past. Also, an obvious explanation for all the man tits on the beer drinkers. So while you were sitting around talking shit about soy boys, you're chugging something 50 times more potent in cytoestrogen than they are.
Not everyone gets a trophy in Beer Fest, but everyone gets a beer gut. That's for sure. It's the dad bod is available to anyone who will seek it out. And that's kind of funny that Peter Griffin and Homer Simpson, they're clearly overweight and they're embodying the classic American dad ethic. In fact, American Dad is the only one who is actually
not,
built.
It's not classic though.
Yeah, right.
Like that's only something that's been in the last so many years. Classic was Captain America, was competence, goodness, stood for his home and his people, and he was capable, competent, and you didn't fuck with that guy, and he was sexy. Like that was classic. Peter Griffin is new. Peter Griffin, Al Bundy, all these just incompetent shits that are just worthless and everybody thinks they're great. That is not classic. That's new and garbage.
Right, and to sit down with a TV dinner tray with the family to watch television together is a very passive activity. And passivity, that's a feminine quality. It's like eat your dinner together, no television, no cell phones, no music, no distractions, make eye contact, talk with your family members, and then get back to work, right? Don't sit around and watch television and then fall asleep on the couch. I mean, if you're living that comfy life, someone's doing some work for you. Is it your wife? Is it your children? Are you putting too many chores and the burdens of others as a man? Where have you?
just wanna stay the same, girl. I know you wanna be the rain. You know that we would fall in there for a time and then unfall again. For a while I'd take you marry no guns, down, spray the sign and no one's alive. I know that you can feel the pain, your eyes speak 100 million lies. Don't tell me you've gone astray, I walk in circles, I've seen a million things that tell me so. I always wanna play the fool, girl, though rules were someone dropped to me. I know that we could fall in there for a time and then fall again. I'll give you dirty mind stones, grow through the rich of your mind set apart. I know that you can feel the pain, your eyes speak 100 million lies. Don't tell me you've gone astray, I walk in circles, I've seen a million things that tell me so. We'll wait for time to turn around your fate. We'll wait for time to turn. Tell me you've gone astray, I talk in circles, everlasting chains that bind my purpose. Only I've seen a million things that tell me so. Total anxiety, paper radio. We'll wait for time to turn around your fate. We'll wait for time to show society, erase inside, I know. We'll wait for time to turn around your fate. We'll wait for time to turn. Roses in water, wise men see. Move around me for centuries. Later on we shall far. Roses in wine, I can see shreds. Roses in